Good day everyone, this is Junaid Khan, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, also representing my clients to the Immigration Refugee Board of Canada. The people who are permanent resident or a citizen, but they still cannot sponsor a spouse, common law partner, or a conjugal partner. So, like I said earlier, it's a very common misconception. People think if they are a Canadian permanent resident or a citizen, they can always sponsor their under the family clause. But there are certain points. If any of them belongs to you, that means you are not eligible currently to sponsor your spouse from outside Canada. So let's talk about that. Some of the points I'm going to be quoting directly from the IRCC website because I don't want to add stuff from my side. So the person who cannot really sponsor a spouse. So first point, the sponsored by a spouse or partner and you become permanent resident less than 5 years ago. So let me explain this. So let's suppose if I am being sponsored by somebody to Canada and it's been less than 5 years, I cannot sponsor a spouse. So let me put it that way, that if I got married and sponsored by someone in Canada and we're not living together anymore, and now I want to sponsor another spouse, I cannot really do it for the period of 5 years. It has to be past the period of 5 years, and after 5 years, I'm going to be eligible for that. Second point, so that's the first point. And the second point is sign the undertaking for previous spouse or partner. Suppose it has been 3 years since they become a permanent resident, which means that you are still financially responsible for them. So basically, like I said earlier in this video, if you have signed the undertaking for the 3 years, you have to wait for that period to cross before you are sponsoring another person to Canada. You may not be eligible to sponsor your spouse, partner, or child if have already applied to sponsor the same spouse, partner, or child, and the decision of the application hasn't been made yet. So you cannot really put two sponsorship applications at the same time. If the decision is not made yet, you have to wait for the decision from the IRCC. A person who's a permanent resident citizen still cannot sponsor if are in jail or a prison, and if you are behind the payments of immigration loans or a performance bond. Plus, you are still not eligible to apply for the sponsorship if did not give any financial support you agreed when you signed the sponsorship agreement. I mean, if you have signed the agreement and you're not fulfilling it, you are not eligible to sponsor. Another point which is very important, which most of the time neglected by a lot of people and they face the consequences. If a person declared bankruptcy, they're not eligible to sponsor a spouse, common law partner, or a conjugal partner. So that's another point. Another point I'm quoting, that if you're receiving social assistance other than disability, that's an important point. I have seen a lot of people, I have seen a lot of it in a lot of cases. So if you are taking a disability payments from the provincial government, federal government, that is fine. But if you are receiving social assistance other than the disability, then you cannot really sponsor a spouse. That clearly shows that you cannot financially take care of yourself right now. So it is going to be impossible to sponsor somebody and then sign the agreement and the undertaking that you will take care of themselves as well. Last but not least, if you are convicted of a violent crime offense, an offense against casually bodily harm, sexual offense within or outside Canada. So if there is a criminal charge or conviction, basically, you cannot really sponsor somebody. And the last but not least, can't legally stay in Canada and must leave the country because you received a removal order. So if you are already an objective removal order, you cannot really put in the application to sponsor somebody in Canada, because end of the day, you yourself is going to be agreeing to the removal order and leaving Canada. So again, I think there are very common misconceptions in Canada I have seen in my consultation, where people do not really know about who can be a sponsor and who cannot be a sponsor. Plus, the financial agreements you have to sign with the IRCC, and there are many questions rise, especially for the people who have already been sponsored before and now want to sponsor another spouse or common law partner. So I hope this video helps you out to understand how sponsorship works in Canada and mainly works in a family class application. Thank you very much.